Other than that, man, I hope you had a Merry Christmas. Hope everybody out there had a Merry Christmas as well. I know it's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
And on, what was that, Christmas Eve, Nas hit us with Magic. Nas and Hit Boy. I cannot leave Hit Boy out of this because Hit Boy is doing some incredible work with the incredible legend. And man, I mean, I want to get your feelings on Magic. I know a lot of people have been waiting on what we have to say about Magic. I know the title of this show is Did Nas Drop 2021's Album of the Year with Magic? I know that's past our cutoff. We're going to get into all those things. First off, what were your thoughts on the album? We're going to call it the album, right? Magic by Nas.
It's 9 songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
That constitutes an album. An Illmatic album?
Nigga, I call everything with original music an album. That's my rule.
I think 7 is kind of like my point where it's like goes from EP to album. 7 is like the barometer to me. The whole Daytona thing was like, okay, that's still an album because it feels like an album. So.
7 or more. So yeah, what were your thoughts on the Magic album?
I mean, Mike, he hasn't sounded this good as an MC since the 90s. Maybe Stillmatic. Is Stillmatic 2000?
I'm going to say this. Creatively, Stillmatic. Yeah, it was 2001. Creatively,
2001.
Creatively, Stillmatic. Lyrically, he was there creatively and all of that. But flow-wise, he hasn't sounded like this since I Am. And this is much better than I Am.
Oh, Mike, this album blows I Am out the water. I Am had Nas's like on it.
Listen, I don't want to.
It blows I Am out the water.
We usually do our show on Fridays. This came out on a Friday, but it was Christmas Eve. I know you wanted to do the show, but I was running around, had a whole bunch of stuff to do. I'm glad we didn't do it in the moment. We would have sounded like we were gassing everything. Now we've had like nearly a week to sit on this thing, and I still feel the same way. And
that's what I'm saying, Mike. Nothing's
changed. This is a top 5 Nas album. I told you offline. This is better than King's Disease to me.
The first one, definitely.
I'm sorry. Of course, it's better than that one. King's Disease 2. And I know we polled the people on our YouTube channel. We got, 443 votes now. 54% say Magic.
Yeah, that's not enough, though, to constitute.
I think it's better than King's Disease 2, off top. You know what I mean? And kind of like for what I told you offline again, I think that I gave King's Disease 2 high points because I think it's a brilliant album. And it's an album that actually, where Nas kind of masters his new style. And I correlate it to Jordan with the Wizards, right? This ain't that. This is Jordan still with the Bulls. And so...
No, I told you, Mike, this is 91, Mike. Mike, are you listening to how he's digging into these tracks? That's 91, Mike. That's like bust your ass and still dunk on you, Mike.
The way Nas is rapping on this album, like you said, we hold Nas super high. Nas is the greatest MC of all time, and I'm going to get into that in a second because he's overstepped Jay-Z in my opinion.
Like I've been saying.
And like you've been saying. I'm a Jay-Z guy. Anybody who listens to the show knows that I'm a Jay-Z guy. But Nas has passed him over. Well, anyway, with all that being said, we're talking about the greatest MC of all time sounding the best that he sounded since 1998. I have to say this album is better than King's Disease 2. I have to.
Mike, right now, lyrically speaking, if we're talking about in terms of the ability to make records and be a lyricist at the same time, Mike, only Conway is fucking with Nas right now. You understand that?
No, that's real. And he's not fucking with Nas on Magic. Because this is Nas in rare form.
No. I'm just talking about like in general, if we just want to do a synopsis of the last 2 years, Conway's the only person that you could even give any legitimate claim that's been a better rapper than Nas. Think about what that's saying.
Listen, he's been the
everybody
best MC in the game. Everybody in the room right now, tell everybody that we're live. I know y'all been waiting for us to talk about Magic, and we're going to break this thing down. Tell a friend, subscribe to According to Hip Hop on YouTube. Y'all know the business. Go ahead, Coop. Sorry.
No, listen to what I'm saying is that like Conway was MC of the year last year, and it was clear. even though Nas dropped the solid project, From a King to a God is better than King's Disease, right? Mike, this year, he made KD2 and Magic.
No, it's just something else, man. All right, listen, he's doing what Conway did and Westside did last year. So
Mike,
he's Artist of the Year.
That's brilliant.
He's Artist of the Year. He's Lyricist of the Year. He's Hit Boy is Producer of the Year for all of this.
Yeah, you can go and rep it. Mike, I was given Alchemist Producer of the Year till I heard this album. Like, even with King's Disease, too. When I heard this, I was like, Mike, you want to know what this is production-wise, just real quick? This is what I told you I heard on KD2, except for he really doubled down on it and did it. He sounds like all of the core producers on Illmatic at some point.
I know. He
sounds like Pete, like beat-wise, it sounds like Pete Rock.
I was just about to say that. Dedicated sounds like Pete Rock.
When I say Dedicated sounds like Pete Rock. Wave Gods, even though Primo's doing the cuts on there, it still sounds like Primo. Mike, one of the tracks sounds like an LES track. One of the tracks sound like a Large Pro track. One of the tracks sound like a Q-Tip track.
Listen, man, I gotta give Hit Boy his props, because at the end of the day, Hit Boy has provided the soundtrack that has inspired Nas to rap at this level again at this stage in his career. It's unfathomable, man. Honestly, Mike. This is some real Tom Brady winning the championship in Tampa Bay type of shit.
No, Mike. This is what I said. No, let's go to one of my notes. And I wanted to be clear about this. This is not LeBron or Tom Brady, because they can't carry a team the way that he's carrying, like, the weight of the words of the tracks right now. Like, it's a solo mission. It's not the same thing.
We got 43 people in the room right now. I want to get into the actual music, right? What were your favorite tracks on the record? I'm going to go ahead and put the track list on the screen right now. We're starting off with Speechless, then you got Meet Joe Black, Ugly, 4016 Building, you got Hollywood Gangster, Woo for the Children, Wave God, The Truth, and Dedicated. What was you guys' favorite song on this album after hearing it, or even at this moment, or whatever? What say you, Coop?
Mike, The Truth is one of his best mic performances, Mike. As in, period. And that's saying a lot.
Sap says Truth sounds like RZA in 95.
Mike, what I say, Mike, he sound like Nas on Take It in Blood in 96. Going crazy.
I think The Truth is one of the best hip-hop songs of the year. And again, I don't want to sit here and sound like we're gassing.
No, it's top 5 easy. It's one of the best 5 rap songs this year, easy. If you told me it was the best rap song you heard this year, I wouldn't argue with you. Black Illuminati's up there for me. Tunchi with Armani and Love is up there for me. Those are the only 2 records I can think of off the top of my head.
Praise God is still up there for me off of
It's not better than The Truth.
The Truth it's an incredible record. A lot of people are saying Speechless, Meet Joe Black, Wave Gods.
That's what I'm
Hollywood
saying. Mike,
Gangster.
I love Mike, Ugly. The Truth and Ugly to me are probably my favorite records, because, Mike, to me, Ugly is like do-rags. Ugly is like do-rags too.
Listen, I feel like, and I don't want to gas us either. I feel like what we have done, somebody's out there listening. I mean, I could have swore we've said on this show many a times that Nas and Hit Boy have found magic, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure we've said that many times.
Mike, I don't even. No, Mike. I ain't even gonna get into that part of it. I'm gonna talk about everybody else that keeps stealing our shit. Damn if they stole our shit, because they just made a classic rap album.
I don't even call that stealing. That's just inspiration. I love it.
Me too. But Mike, what I'm saying is I don't even care about Mike. I don't care about all that. Like, it's just beautiful.
No,
it's just beautiful what they're doing, Mike. I hit when it came out, I hit Kendrick on the group that we in, and I was like, this is on some Illmatic Lost Tape shit.
But what I was gonna say though, is the fact that
nothing. I know what I heard.
What Nas also flexed on here is the fact that he can control the hook, he can do the hook, and I know in a previous show we've said the same thing can't be said about the guy that he's compared to the most. Jay doesn't do hooks like the Meet Joe Black. You can't. He doesn't. He doesn't have Jay doesn't have a
Mike,
made you look in his hook arsenal. You know what I'm saying?
Mike,
And Nas, what he did on here, he did all the hooks.
All of them.
All of them.
All
I
of
mean,
them.
no real. And you know what? I gotta give ASAP props
No real
too.
hip.
I
ASAP
love the
got
fact.
busy.
I love the fact that ASAP was on the record because I've always thought ASAP is probably one of the more underappreciated guys of his generation because ASAP could spit, and he could spit with anybody, and he just fit right in there. You know what I mean?
He did. It sounded beautiful. Mike.
It was beautiful.
Everything about it was beautiful, Mike. Everything sounds wonderful. He's the greatest rapper of all time. I've been saying for a long time, Mike, that he's the greatest rapper of all time.
It's not even a conversation anymore,
Mike,
honestly.
Like, that's what I'm saying. It's not a conversation, but let's get into what people, like, this is what I'm saying. For people who don't, like, for me, I look at people who say Jay is the greatest MC of all time sometimes, Mike, and it's like, well, what part of hip-hop are you rooted in? Because if you're rooted in the fundamentals of hip-hop, you can't ever really think with clarity that this guy Jay is better than Nas. And that's kind of, and not to like slight you or bring you up, Mike, but you've always felt this way. But what I was always saying is like, well, he's had a lot of help. He's kind of riding a lot of waves. He's had, Mike, I've been saying this the whole time. I'm like, yo, he's had a lot of help on these hits. Like,
but
Mike,
I think time has really revealed that
when he's by himself on the B-side records, he's all-time great. But that stuff that y'all keep saying is great with all that help, I'm like, Nas don't need all that to be great. Because here's the thing with Magic, Mike, and I can't state this enough. That's why Nas is the greatest MC of all time. Nas don't need to make no fucking single to even get considered for album of the year. All he has to do is step on the beat and rap the way he's capable of rapping, and it's going to be album of the year. Jay ain't never had it like that.
Ever. Well, you know, I think the closest that Jay had it to that would be American Gangster, right? But this is the thing.
Like I said, Mike. Like I said, if that's the closest he's been, then like I said, he's somewhere far away.
American Gangster is a dope project. You know what I'm saying? And
Mike, but see, even with that, shit.
But dope even with
classic, Mike.
Even with that being said, though, I mean, some people would consider American Gangster a classic. I don't think it is. But this is the thing. But this is the thing, though. Jay had to go into that type of chamber to make a quality album that people appreciated in that way. Nas doesn't even have to go there. He don't have to go on no gangster shit. He doesn't Lil Yachty said something, right? That's what I keep
saying, Mike. He can just get on the record and be Nas, and that's enough.
I'm gonna quote Lil Yachty on something. He said something very profound one time. He said, "The easiest thing in rap to be is hard," and that's real. That's the easiest thing to be in hip hop. That gets everybody's antennas up, gets everybody riled up. But to go out there and be introspective, insightful, and hit things from a different spectrum, that's not easy.
But that's what I'm saying, Mike. He's been doing that the entirety of the time. I keep saying there was a point where I considered the catalogs to be comparable. If you told me Jay-Z's catalog was better at certain points, I wouldn't disagree with you. But Mike, the only thing he's ever had on him as an MC is more hit records, which have a lot of help, and his delivery. Mike,
yeah,
he still has more hit records, but the help still exists, so it sounds dated. But guess what? Mike, he doesn't have a better delivery than him anymore.
This is the thing. No, you're right. No. I mean, all right, we can go down the line, right?
Jay don't have nothing on Nas. He has nothing for him.
This is what Nas has dropped in 2021. Nas has dropped King's Disease 2, and he has dropped Magic. This is what Jay-Z has dropped. Well, Sorry Not Sorry with Jay-Z, which was,
No. We're sorry that they both made that record. We're sorry that they made that record.
Well, honestly, looking at what Nas has made this year, Nas is okay. This is what Jay has made.
No. They should both be ashamed of themselves still. So
Nas is cleared up from it. This is what Jay made in 2021. Guns Go Bang with Kid Cudi. The song with Nipsey Hussle, What It Feel Like. Another dud. Sorry Not Sorry, it was a dud. Let's be honest.
That wasn't even no mid.
King Kong Rhythm with Jadakiss and Conway. That was underwhelming.
No, that's problematic, Mike. It was problematic. It's disappointing. Outside of Conway's verse.
The song with Drake, Love All. That's kind of a dud, right?
That was that might be the best one, Mike.
And then Jail with Kanye West, the Baby's version is better than Jay's version.
Actually, Mike, the Drake record is his best performance this year, I think.
And that's not saying a whole lot. Listen.
No, Mike, that's a damn shame.
Yeah, and that's again, that's not one of the highlights of even on that album, and that album's not even a highlight of the year. I mean, we're gonna get into the year. We got a whole lot to talk